What's the worst part of presentation nerves for you? Is it the blushing, the sweating, the worrying, will it be good enough, the fear of judgment, the heart pounding, legs shaking, the Q&A, all of it? Or are you someone that just really enjoys a good presentation? You can love presentations and still get nervous. And you can not get nervous and still not like presentations. And the thing about presentation nerves is that generally, they're always there. It's not about finally getting to a point where you're not nervous at all, because really the only way you're going to get there is probably to go on beta blockers, which I would advise against. No matter how experienced you are, how many presentations you've done, or how much you love it, you probably still have presentation nerves. And it's always something that we want to try and manage better. We want to get ourselves into the position where we have control of the nerves. They give us that little edge, that little bit of energy. They tell us it's an important event, but they don't control us. They don't detract from the quality of the presentation that we give. MBA.com surveyed over 600 employers, and oral communication was ranked first, presentation skills were ranked fourth, and traditional skills such as management skills were ranked lowest in the most desirable qualities for prospective employees. And I know that for most people this will be really bad news. Some experts say that over 75% of the population have a fear of public speaking. But public speaking is in fact a fact of life. So we've got two options. We can either let the presentation nerves control us, or we can take ownership of the process and we can start to manage them. Here are my recommendations to help you manage your presentation nerves. Now, before we get into any of this, it's important to say that managing nerves is a lifelong mission. I know, I'm sorry. This isn't a watch a video and then tick, you're done. Presentations with no nerves. This is something that you need to work into every presentation you do for the next years and years and years. It takes time. It does. And that's fine. It's about giving yourself that space for it to be an iterative process, learning from one presentation, trying something in the next one, learning from that, seeing what works. So patience is key. Now, first of all, there are two golden rules: preparation and practice. Let's start with preparation. Firstly, do you know what the aim of your presentation is? Are you informing people? Are you reporting back? Are you a visionary, giving them your ideas? Now, have you hit all of those objectives? If you haven't, then now's the time to go back, do all the work you need to do, and then reevaluate. Ask yourself that same question: have I hit all the objectives? Because going into a presentation knowing that you are fully prepared, you have all the information, will put you in a much better place than thinking, I think I've got it all right, but I'm not really sure. That will be a big perpetuator of nerves. Now, secondly, have you read around the subject enough to confidently go in there and know that you've prepared as much as you can to answer the Q&A? If not, go back, do some Googling, get on those spreadsheets, get the books out, get cracking and prepare. Practice. You need to run through your presentation at least once. You'll be surprised by how much will improve and how many things come out of that first run through that you will change immediately. Bonus points for running through it with a friend, partner, family member or colleague. This little bit of added pressure will give you the feeling of what it's like to be presenting while nervous, which we normally don't get to practice unless we're actually doing it. And by that point, it's too late. We're not practicing, we're performing. So let's chat actual nerve symptoms. I get sweaty. Right, okay. I hear you. The pre-presentation cold sweats, the during presentation hot sweats. Sweatiness isn't something we can control, but we can minimize its appearance, which will allow us to maximize our confidence. And even though we know we're sweating, no one else will, and that will allow us to just kind of do our thing. So firstly, think about the material of your outfit. Linens, silks, satins, light jerseys will all give you massive sweat patches. So then you can do a wet test. Put a bit of water on your chosen outfit and just see how dark it goes. How much does it show? And from there you can decide what you want to wear. And you can always consider using a blazer for an extra layer of security. I feel sick. Feeling sick is due to your body's fight or flight response, and part of this is the release of adrenaline into the bloodstream, which in turn involves shutting down part of the digestive system and then releasing stores of glucose and fat. Calming your fight or flight response will help mitigate your feeling of nausea. A great way to do this whilst also focusing your mind is by doing some breathing exercises. I always recommend a 1 in, double out breathing exercise. So we'll breathe in for 3 through the nose and then out for 6 through the mouth. So we'll go. You can play around with the number of counts as long as what you're breathing out is roughly double what you're breathing in, and you're going in through your nose and out through your mouth. I feel on edge. The feeling of impending doom matched with not being able to escape and an excess of energy all contributes to this feeling of being massively on edge before a presentation. Being fully prepared will help mitigate this. Try the exercises we've just talked about and also try shaking out your body. You can try breathing in with your shoulders up to your ears and then out. Try it again. Do this a few times. Also, shake out your arms, shake out your hips, shake out your torso, shake out your legs, and just release that energy. I fear judgment. Let's think back to your preparation. Have you prepared everything you need for the presentation? Are you hitting all the objectives expected of you? Okay, so now, what are you actually fearing? What are you fearing that people will judge you on really? Your work, your performance, your presentation style? Does it matter if you've still hit the objectives? If you're feeling worried about this, really try changing the narrative in your head. So rather than focusing on, I'm worried about X, Y, Z, think about all the things that you have already prepared, all the things that you've done. I've prepared the presentation. My slides look great. I've done brilliant presentations before. I'll do them again. My face goes bright red. On its own, this does not impact your presentation, but if it distracts you and makes you feel underconfident, then yes, it will. So my advice, invest in a good green stick. This is one for the men as well. The green neutralizes the redness in your skin and will take it back to its normal color. Also think about the clothes you're wearing. If you're wearing something green in your clothing, this will make your face look redder, so go for some darker clothing to minimize those blushes. My heart pounds and my legs shake. These physical symptoms can be really distracting and they can feel like your body is betraying you or really reminding you of how nervous you are and what a massive deal this presentation is. Like the previous physical symptoms we've discussed, we can't stop it, but we can make it better. So this might seem a little bit left field, but stay with me. Before your practice session, go and run up some flights of stairs, do some press-ups, do some jumping jacks, whatever you need to get your heart racing, your breathing heavier, and make your body feel a bit shaky. This will allow you to practice whilst feeling these negative physical symptoms and allow you to isolate the skill of calming yourself down, or more importantly, presenting well, presenting calmly, and presenting whilst experiencing these symptoms. And finally, remember, your presentation is never going to be perfect. It's just not. But every time you prepare and practice, it will get better. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to follow ClearVoice at ClearVoice Official on all social media for more tips and advice on communication.